What's up guys, it's rxpidness, and in today's video we're going to be looking at all of my settings. My sense and some tips were requested in my last video, so I wanted to make a video on it. And yeah, so let's just get right into it. Interact prompt style, I put that on compact because I know what all these things mean. I know what a stock is, I know what they're used for, so I don't really need a whole description about it. Button hints, I have that off because I don't really need to know or see which button I need to use. Crosshair damage feedback, I just prefer it on crosshairs only. I can't really tell the difference between this and shield icon with crosshairs, but if that's your thing, or off is also a really good option, but I just prefer only crosshairs because I'm just used to it, and I like it. Damage numbers, I put on stacking because I feel like it's the best because it takes the least amount of your screen while also telling you how much damage in total you did to the opponent. Off, I don't really get why anybody would put it there because it doesn't really tell you what, or it doesn't tell you at all what damage you do to the opponent, so you won't be able to communicate with your teammates and actually tell them, like, if you're in a ranked situation, what you hit them for. Floating, I don't recommend because it just tells you how much damage you did for each single shot, and you can't really communicate to someone about that unless you're using like a wingman and you only hit like one shot every 2 seconds. Both is okay, but it's not really necessary to have the floating numbers in the background, so I keep it on stacking. Ping, I have on faded because it's easier to see if you're aiming in the direction of the ping. It's easier to see enemies, and the ping doesn't stand out as much. Obituaries, I have that on. Most people have that on. It just shows the obituaries for the people that you kill. Map rotation, I just prefer this. It's easy to tell if I look at the map, what's to my left, what's to my right. I don't have to look at the little arrow and see where I'm looking. Um, Weapon auto cycle on empty. I put that on off. That explosion though. I put that on off because I just prefer being able to switch by myself and not having the game do it because it trips me up sometimes because I switch while this is switching for me, and I just go back to the gun that had no ammo. So I just put it on off because I do it manually. Auto sprint, I used to have it on when I played claw just because it was easier not to having to press down. It was less pressure on my thumb when I was trying to do other things with my other fingers. But I have that off. But also if you have a broken controller or your left stick is a little broken and like pressing down won't always make you sprint, auto sprint's good because you can still keep that habit of pressing down, but this will always let you sprint instead of having that problem. I just have it on off because I got used to it, and I just played on it for a while. Double tap sprint, I don't recommend this because you have to press it twice. I mean, you could do it if you like it and you're used to it, but I just don't like it. I'm not used to it. 3D damage feedback, I keep that on because it's easier to tell where I'm getting shot at from. If I have it on 2D, I can still tell, but it's a little harder because it just shows the 2D version and not like up, down, and stuff like that. So I keep it on 3D, and both, it's just taking too much of your screen. You don't really need it. You're only going to be looking at one, so I keep that on 3D. Taking damage closes death box menu. I 100% recommend it be on off because if you have it on and you're trying to shield swap and someone throws like a caustic trap on you and you take like one tick of damage, it's going to kick you out of the death box. You're probably going to die because you didn't get the shield swap off. And yeah, so if you have it on off, it will make it easier to shield swap. You can do that while taking damage, but I wouldn't like do this and then recommend trying to shield swap in front of like 3 people because that's still not gonna have you live. But having this off really helps you, so I would keep that off. Hop up, pop up, I don't really need this because I know what the hop up does. I don't need it popping up above my gun down here, so I just keep it on off. Streamer mode off. It's not really a streamer mode, honestly. It disguises your enemies gamer tags instead of your own, so it's not really a streamer mode. Colorblind mode, I have that on off. I just prefer it. I've tried every single one of these and I like them, but right now I prefer it on colorblind mode. Um, Tritanopia is really good if you want a yellow reticle, but these two are also good. This has a yellow reticle as well, and this one has a pinkish one. And on both these two, on the Digi Threat, it makes your enemies appear blue. So let me try to show you guys. It makes them appear blue. This kind of looks purple, honestly, but they kind of appear blue instead of red. So if you prefer that color and it helps you aim better, then I 100% recommend that. And yeah, but I keep this on off because I prefer it. Subtitles, I don't have subtitles. I don't need them. They take too much of your screen, so I don't have them on. And that's pretty much it for the gameplay tab. Controller tab. Button layout is default, but I have PS4 back buttons, and what those are basically this little device that you stick on the bottom of your controller, and it adds basically paddles to the back. It's not a strike pack. It doesn't mod the controller. It just allows you to it does mod the controller, but it doesn't mod the game and make it easier to shoot or anything. It just gives you different button settings and extra buttons to press if you don't want to press the face buttons or any button, honestly, on the controller. So my left button on the paddles is crouch and my right is jump. Usually people have it the other way around or some other variation, but I like this because crouch spamming on the left and aiming on the right is a lot more comfortable for me rather than doing it all with the same hand. So yeah, and I also have a control freak on my right stick. It's the Vortex, and it comes with a mid-rise concave and a high-rise convex. And I put the mid-rise concave on my right stick and nothing on my left stick. I just don't prefer the domed feel and the height of the domed one. I'm trying to get a high rise concave to see if that works. So these settings might be switched, and I'll probably tell you guys if I switch them a little bit. Um, and on my left stick, I just have nothing on there because you don't really need anything on there. If you put something on there, I don't recommend a high rise because it's only for movement. You don't need to pinpoint your accuracy, so there's no need. And yeah, so stick layout, have it on default. Interact reload button, I have it on tap to use and tap to reload. If you want to do these two, one of these two, they're absolutely, I think, better than this, but I'm just not used to those, and I feel like it would mess me up too much to switch to those. This allows you to tap to use and reload, but if you do the other two, you can basically you can reload behind a door without the door opening if you know how to press it, whether to tap or hold. So that's good, but I just put it on tap to use and reload because I'm used to it. Crouch button on hold. I do recommend it on hold. However, if you do not have paddles, I don't recommend this. Or you don't play claw, I don't recommend this because, well, even on claw is kind of difficult, but I don't recommend this because having it on hold with no paddles makes it like if you have it on right stick, which is what I used to do, it's harder to aim because if you're holding it down while trying to aim, if you're trying to hide behind something or something like that, um, it just feels more restrictive and harder to aim, at least on my end. But if it works for you, by all means do it. And especially if you don't have paddles and you have it on circle, it's not going to work for you because if you're trying to crouch behind something in like ranked and you're trying to aim as well, you won't even have a finger on the right stick unless you play in a different way or a different hand style. But yeah, so I would recommend it if you have paddles, but if you don't, I would keep it on toggle. Aim button on hold, I keep that there because I'm just used to it. If you put it on toggle, you know, if that's your thing, do it. But I don't recommend this because I'm not used to it. Most shooter games don't have this, so I'm just used to hold. L2, R2 button dead zones, I keep it on none because it makes a quicker reaction time with triggers. It doesn't make like the biggest difference in the world. It's not going to be like a 5-second difference between when you shoot, but it does make a tiny bit of a difference, and you know, you never know, that could save you in a fight. So I keep it on none. Menu cursor speed, I have it on this. I would put it at max if I could control it, but I can't, so I keep it up here. It's in the middle basically. It just allows me to shield swap if I'm going in a box or loot faster because my cursor is moving faster. Dead zone, small, inverted look, off, vibration off. Some people have it on. I just prefer it off. I feel like it on, it messes up my aim. ALC. This is what all of you probably have been waiting for. I'll try to go in depth, sort of, but I'm trying to keep this a short video, so we'll see. Dead zone, the only reason I have it on this is because I can't put it all the way down without having stick drift, because if you guys see, my stick will drift pretty fastly, so I don't want that, so I put it on up here, so there's no stick drift. Um, just no dead zone, I feel like helps you with recoil control the lower the dead zone is, because it kind of makes your movement stronger in a sense. So side to side recoil won't be as strong and left to right recoil won't be as strong. Um, Outer threshold, you could put it all the way down. I just put it up here because it's default. I'm used to it. It just makes the max of your stick moving. If it will respond, it doesn't really make that big of a difference, so I keep it here. Um, Response curve, I have it between classic and linear. Classic is this line right here, and linear is all the way down. Linear is raw input, so if you play it on classic or steady like all your Apex days and you switch to linear, it's going to feel super weird because it's raw input. You're not used to having a more dull response curve, so I keep it here because I'm used to it. And hold up, I forgot 1 2 3. So dead zone is 3 up, and then 1 2 3 4 5 6. Response curve is 6 up. Yaw speed and turning extra yaw speed, I have those at max. I'm used to it. I like to be fast when turning around and aiming at people, or not aiming at people, but turning around. So I have that at max. I'm used to it. If you don't like this, or you can't get used to it, and you don't feel like getting used to it, you could tick it down a little bit, like to here, and turn this down as well. But I just keep it up because I'm used to it. So these two are maxed. Pitch speed is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. 18 up. I wouldn't recommend this all the way up unless you played on numbers, the number settings for your entire Apex career, because then you'll be used to having both directions the same speed. So if you like that, then by all means put it there. But if you don't, then turn it down a little bit or just match mine. Alright, turning pitch speed I have down here because I don't want it too fast, like I said. I don't recommend putting ramp up time up at all, either of them, because I feel like it just restricts you from being able to move around as fastly as you could, because it makes it sort of a charge up time basically, to where you start lower than what you put your settings on, and then it gets all the way up eventually, and that's just not what I like. That's what I don't recommend, so I don't put it up there. ADS yaw speed. Oh, I forgot to tell you what this was. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. So 7 up. Yaw speed ADS. I have it 1 2 3 4 5. 5 up. And I'm just used to it. I like turning fast but controllable. So I'm just used to this with the yaw speed to match. Or turning extra yaw speed to match. Pit speed, I have it 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11. So I keep that there because I'm just used to it. And I enjoy like having it that much because you need a balance basically. It needs to be like between how fast you control recoil and how fast you want to turn up and down, because I would put it higher up, but like for some reason when I'm controlling recoil on here, if I put it up it feels really easy, but then when I'm trying to turn or move my reticle up and down, it feels a little fast for me. So I keep it like kind of in between where I would put those two, and this just works for me. I've gotten used to it. And remember, guys, if you have your settings somewhere and you really want to get good at the game, you have to either find your own settings or just get used to somebody's, because like literally every Apex settings video has said, you need to find what's best for you. And I know this sounds like stupid and cliche because I have watched countless settings videos and they told me this and I didn't listen, and I tried it out and it was good at some parts but bad at others, and I kept switching, and this isn't healthy because you won't get to your max potential if you keep switching it around, because you need to form muscle memory. So if you really want to copy someone's settings, you have to either commit to it and try to get used to it, or you need to just find your own. And if you need to find your own, it will take a good amount of time. It won't just take 5 seconds. It needs to take its time. And so, yeah. So pitch speed, I think I already showed you guys that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So extra yaw speed is up here because I just I'm used to it. I like it. It adds a little bit more speed rather than this, and so I like that. I put extra pitch speed all the way down because I don't really need anything extra for this. If you feel like a yaw speed, if this is almost perfect for you right here, and turning it up just makes it a little too fast, try to turn the extra yaw speed up and see if that helps you better than just turning the regular one up. Ramp up time, I already told you I don't recommend having that up at all. Target, these two right here, I don't recommend them off. These are basically aim assist. They're not aimbot, they're aim assist. Having them off just makes it way harder to aim. If you want to, I saw this video one time, it said like maybe for a week try it off, and then after that week try it on, and it'll be easier to hit the shots. But I don't know if this really works because you'll be so used to not having aim assist, having the controller drag basically a little bit for you might throw you off. So I don't know, that might work for you, but I just keep it on at all times because I'm used to aim assist. And yeah, those are my ALCs. Field of view right here, I recommend it over 90. If you have it at 70, I pray for you. I don't get how you do that because it just makes it so small. Like you can see right here, this is just so awkward. And I mean, yeah, it might make it like somewhat easier to hit your targets because they appear bigger, but it's just you can't see as much. It just feels so crammed. So I definitely recommend you having it at least 90. I have it on 110. I've switched it a bunch. 110 for right now just feels great because I can see the most around me, and I'm kind of used to the size of the enemies. Brightness, I have it all the way up because I don't want people sneaking up behind me in a doggone dark corner. So I have it on. Audio, I have all these 100% and these 0%. I just don't need to hear music, really. If I need to, I'll have music playing in the background of my own, or I'll just be listening to my teammates and just joking around. So I have those at 0. I don't have voice chat off because if I'm in a random match or something like that, I want to be able to talk to my randoms if I want to. This I have off as well, and yeah, those are my settings. So as far as tips go, you need to be smart about everything you do in Apex, because, and you might be thinking, are you a little serious? But you need to be smart about what you do in Apex, and so you need to know how to single out enemies. So if you're in like a 1v3 or something like that, and let's say one enemy is over here, right? And one enemy is right here, and you're behind here. You don't want to jump up on this and start trying to shoot one of them and having your whole body exposed. You want to basically use this cover to block the person all the way over here so they can't see you, and basically target this person to try to make it basically 2 separate 1v1s. And so that will greaten your chances of winning that fight rather than standing up here and having both of them just stare you down and having them look at you. And as far as movement wise, wall jumping, you probably heard of this. Um, it's just an easy way to get around. You have to basically, shoot, I screwed that up. You have to basically jump as soon as you hit the wall. Oh my god, I'm screwing these up. You have to jump basically as soon as you hit the wall. That's a little too late. And you know, it takes practice. So I'm not like the 100% best at it, but I'm pretty good at it. And so those can save you in a fight. I've seen multiple clips to where people do a wall jump and then just turn on somebody. But they do help. If you want to learn that, you can. But I don't really use wall jumps that much in a fight. Alright, so also for tips for high kill games and for high damage. A high damage game is, in my opinion, easier than getting a 20 bomb. Because you can basically like sit back with a G7 and snipe people. And that'll get you damage real fast. And if that's your way of playing, by all means go ahead. But I just don't like playing like that. And that's probably why I don't have the 4K. But I like playing aggressive and pretty close. So, if you want to get the 4K that way, you're going to have to get in a lot of fights and you're going to have to push. You can't be in a death box for like 10 minutes and then rotating. You need to be moving at all times. I would recommend like being in a death box for no more than like 4 seconds. And just moving around at a good pace. And go to, a good idea is to, while you're jumping down, while you're skydiving, look around and see where people landed, because that'll tell you what places were populated, what places people went to, and that'll show you where to go to next to find people. And always keep your ear out for headshots, or not headshots, gunshots, so you can get to them as fast as you can. And if you are trying to get the 20 bomb, I feel like you need to just get a bunch of kills off rip and then start going for it, because going for it off spawn, you're going to get real disappointed because you might die off rip one time and you're not going to be able to get it every single game. But my idea of it is having at least one teammate and playing trios or duos if you like that better. But I recommend trios because there's more people that you're going to run into, because instead of running into a squad of 2, you're going to run into a squad of 3. But I would have 1, maybe 2 of your teammates with you and have them break the opponent's shield and call out who's broken. Be like, Pathfinder over here, crack. And have them not shoot at them anymore. So just in case like that person didn't have any health and one more shot could kill him, make sure they call it out so you can kill them. And you need to try your best not to get knocked, because if you get knocked, that slows you down getting kills. That could have an entire squad die and you miss the 20, and so that jeopardizes it. So you need to be smart while aggressive, basically passive aggressive. And it's probably recommended if you do get down to have like a lifeline or a Gibraltar, so just so you can get up or have a greater chance of being able to get up. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the tips. Also, I wanted to show you guys my warm-up. Basically, I just warm up with the guns that I use in game, most likely. I mean, I guess this is a tip, but I warm up with the guns that I use most likely in a match. So I don't put the barrel stabilizer on, I don't put any on, and I rotate scopes that I use. And I just do this because I feel like putting a barrel on is kind of cheating in warming up, because it makes it easier to control recoil, and that's not what you want. Because if you get into a game, you're not gonna just jump on a gold stave every time. You're most likely not gonna get a barrel stabilizer at all when you start a game. So I start out with no barrel stabilizer, and you won't have freaking perfect aim like you just saw there. I hit like 4 shots maybe, but that's okay. This is your warm up. And you just want to fool around. I also, when I'm reloading, I move around, look around, just so I can practice my snap reaction to the dummy. So if I'm moving around, if I'm looking over here, turning to my left and just aiming it as quick as I can and getting those shots off, so I have the least likeliness of dying. And basically the guns that I usually use, for right now at least, you already know I use the 301 based on my last video, but I also use the Volt. I feel like this gun definitely needs a nerf, because I feel like it's too good. It lasers too fast. The TTK is just crazy. But, yeah. And I also use the Prowler. I do prefer it on burst mode, so I just practice it on burst mode, because you're going to be finding it on burst mode every time. There's no instance where you're only going to be able to have it on select fire. But if you prefer select fire, then I would practice both modes, burst and select fire, because even though you prefer both full auto, you're not gonna pick up the Prowler every time and have it on burst unless you only pick it up. Have it on full auto unless you only pick it up when there's a select fire. So I would practice both. And yeah, so that's basically everything. I also aim at the further targets to practice my recoil at long range. And yeah, that's pretty much everything. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys take a good amount from this to help you get better in Apex and help you get your settings. And I hope you enjoy.